Mark, getting the stuff off the pitch out of the way nice and early in the conversation. Obviously a change at the top now with Stuart coming in as the interim chair. What conversations have you had with Stuart, and have you got a good working relationship with him already? He was obviously already at the club.
Yeah, got a great relationship with Stuart, good relationship with Martin. So listen, I'm just concentrating on football. That's whatever that noise is for us. It's about, that's just noise. We have to concentrate on football. We have to keep trying to win games. And the more games you win, the better proposition the club is for someone.
On the pitch, we're talking about back-to-back wins and 2 clean sheets, actually, which is, I'm guessing, just as important as the wins themselves.
Yeah, players have worked really hard. We look as though we're front foot. We get around the pitch, make it difficult for teams in the last 2 games, and we've got a couple of good results, and we want that to continue on Saturday against a team that are expecting to be in the playoffs. They've had a bit of a sticky run, but it's on the day, so we've got to go and have a right go at them.
On the defensive side of things, how impressed have you been by the loan players coming in, particularly obviously for 2 very young players playing the centre-back roles, but doing it very well?
It's really difficult for the young boys when they come in on loan, because they have to earn the respect of the players that are already here. They're replacing good players, but they've put their hand up to carry the flag forward, and been really impressed with them, and they've stood up to the challenge really well. Really difficult times. Obviously Frankie came in a couple of weeks earlier than Kyle, and but no, they've looked pretty solid together with the help of the goalkeeper, 2 experienced fullbacks, either side of them have helped them, Alex, Whittle and Dom. So we've had to set the team up a bit differently to try and help them and give us a bit more solidity, but they've done great.
And Alex obviously coming in and taking that captain's armband at the moment as well. What does he do as a captain? What type of leader is he on the pitch?
Well, Alex is, he's led, since he's come back from his injury, he's put in some good performances. He's a really good defender. 1v1 defender is his skill set, and very, very rarely gets beat. Touch wood, and he's led by example.
In terms of your injury list, because we haven't actually chatted about it for a while, it's obviously, it was
fairly hefty. Are we allowed to talk about it?
The injury list,
yeah.
If you want to, we can.
No, you've asked me.
It's obviously fairly hefty. You've got a few players coming back from injury at the moment. I saw Jake Wannell and Morgan Williams doing some warm-ups yesterday on the pitch. Then we might as well start off with those 2. Morgan probably not before the end of the season, but Jake, realistically, are we going to see him soon?
Wannell Wannell joined in today for the first time, so actually full training with the team. So we'll see how he goes. If he can get through that, then he'll be involved at the weekend. Morgan probably a little bit longer. And then obviously another big one is Jarvis, who I think he'd be touch and go for the rest of the season, and if that is the case, we won't take any risks with him.
I was going to ask you, because he's been out for such a long time, is there any point in him coming in for maybe 1 or 2 games or some minutes just before the end of the season?
Depends on the situation and circumstance of where we are at that time.
And a few other names obviously still missing at the moment. We've got Jacob Maddox. Any update on whether or not he'll be in and around the first team soon?
No, I'm not really sure with Jacob. I think he's got a niggle in his foot. And that comes down to pain threshold, and obviously he's feeling it, and he's not able to train at the minute.
Looking ahead to the weekend and talking about Altrincham, you were talking about a side who, up until a few weeks ago, were massively in the playoff picture. They've dropped off in terms of the form. What do you make of them as an entity this season? It was 0-0 here earlier, a very hard team to break down. Yeah,
they have real principles and beliefs in how they want to play, and the manager Phil and the assistant Neil Sorvel have done really well over the last couple of years. They've got a real clear identity. They want to play through the pitch. Got some really talented players that they've taken from lower down the pyramid. And they're in one of their moments. It's just a tricky spell, and that happens in the season. It's impossible, even for the top boys, to rarely go through a season without a hiccup. And they're in one of their moments. They've suffered with injuries. Their pitch you know, they want to play really good football, but their pitches let them down, and it's really, really bobbly, so that doesn't help them. So, but I'm sure they'll be looking. They're still, what are they, couple of points off the playoffs. So I'm sure their focus is still on finishing the top 7.
Do you imagine it'll be a fairly tight game on Saturday then, and you're not necessarily looking for an end-to-end game?
It will be on the day. We have to turn up and we have to make it difficult. We have to run like we've run in the last 2 games. We have to be physically spot on. We have to do our jobs without the ball, and we have to cause them a threat at the top of the pitch. And that's what certainly what we're going to try and do. We're going to try and get another result.
And you mentioned Phil Parkinson a moment ago. 8 years at the club, an amount of time that long at this level is very impressive. I mean, it's longevity that you don't normally see, isn't it?
It's very rare. It's very rare to be at a club for that long, and for that to happen, you have to win lots of games. The only way, you speak to young managers now, and it can be about, they want to talk about philosophy and they want to talk about systems and stuff. You have to win. To stay in a job for a long period of time, you have to win lots of games and get lots of points, and over a period of time. And Phil's obviously done that. And hopefully after Saturday they can get out of their sticky bit they're in at the minute.
Yeah, not before they play you, though.
That's right.
And at the very top of the table, in particular playing against Barnet and looking at how they've done so far this season, what do you believe has been their secrets to success? And do you actually think, in terms of their points total, they could be challenging some records here?
I don't really focus on that. I just know they've got good players. There's no secret. There's no secret to football. It's about getting really good players on the pitch and being really organised and motivated. There's no real top secret to it. They've got really good players, and if you've got good players and a good work ethic, you're going to win games of football, and that's what Barnet have got.
Well, good luck for this weekend.
Thank you.
Give your friends and colleagues the VIP treatment at Hewish Park. Book your very own matchday private hospitality box for up to 10 guests. Visit ytfc.net for details.